the eighth, ninth wonder of the world, the Astrodome. And we walked in that Astrodome, and as a 19-year-old, I looked around that Astrodome. It was like you were on Mars, and you thought, who could ever? How could you even think about playing ball? This place is so unbelievable. And 30 days later, they played the first baseball game in that Astrodome. And then I thought, where does this come from? Where do these ideas come from? How do people think of this stuff? And where would you start? Where do you put the first screw? How do you do it? All that was going through a 19-year-old's mind at the time. And yes, we moved from there. We came to Dallas. And we did win that Cotton Bowl game. But ladies and gentlemen, at 19-year-old, recall that experience. Roll the clock forward 35 years later, and I'm with the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm thinking about, what are we going to do to make the Cowboys even more special? What can I do? And I started thinking about going in that Astrodome. I started thinking about that thrill. I got the same thrill. Emotionally. But I got the same thrill. And so I started thinking, and I engaged my family. And we got together. And we started coming out because I knew it could happen, because I'd seen it done before. I walked in there when I was 19 years old, and I saw it done. And so we began building what is you're sitting in today, called ATT Stadium. And as it happens with young people, some 35 years later, you can put 5 of them damn Astrodomes inside this one right here. That's what being involved. That's the kind of inspiration that can be involved there. My coach, Frank Rawls, Houston Nutt, we both were so honored to have him, not only as a colleague, but a friend. Houston coached there while his time with the Razorbacks. But Coach Rawls would say to his young players, he'd hold that hand up and those 4 fingers, the fourth quarter. And he'd say, Ben, anybody can do it when you first run out on the field. You got your socks taped up, you're all ready to go, your shirt tails in, you just look in the mirror, you're looking good, you're going out to play. Everybody looks good. First quarter, you get a hit, you get bumped around a little bit, maybe a lot. Get down to the half, you go in, your old forehead's cut and bleeding because that helmet's coming down on it. All of a sudden you start feeling some aches and pains. You get to the third quarter and it starts laboring. Those old legs keep going, but you're full of that pressure. And you get down to it and it's all on the line. It's called the fourth quarter. You're not pretty anymore. It's not fun anymore. It's time to put the work in. And it's time to realize that guy may not want it as bad as you do. It's called the fourth quarter. Well, I was inspired because I got to play for a coach that also knew how to do that when he was 70 and talk to people like me 20 years younger and talk about the fourth quarter of life. And he wrote a book on how to care for people with Alzheimer's. And he had those kinds of things because I knew he knew what he was talking about, because when I was 19, I heard him talk about the fourth quarter. And that's not that much fun